Plotting problems. This is a 70% plotting problems of the Chesapeake Bay. We're going to use a handout of the Chesapeake Bay. You're going to need your parallel rulers, you're going to need your dividers, and a good eraser. What we're going to do is we're going to open up the page, and the first section you're going to see is on the inside. This is the deviation table. And we're going to use this deviation table for Chesapeake Bay. Turning it over, you're going to see the problems. The problems are already more separated. So what we've done is we've taken all the compass corrections, all the ETAs, all the time, distance, speed, everything like that, and we've put them in groups so you can work 8, 9, 10 of these problems so that it becomes repetition. It becomes ingrained in you how to work these formulas. We're using the Chesapeake Bay chart, which is the 12221 TR. TR is important because remember that's your training chart. That's what all these questions are taken from. If you use any other Chesapeake Bay chart, it's going to be wrong. Your answer is going to be wrong. What we're going to do is we're going to take the first problem. It says your Lorentz shows your position of latitude 3659.0 north, longitude 7548.6 west. Then it's going to say what is the course per standard magnetic compass. Anytime they ask you that, you know that's going to be a TVMDC. Because what they want you to do is they're going to give you two positions on the chart, and what they want you to do is find out what it is true, and they want you to correct it to compass. That's basically what this question is asking you. So if I look at it, it's telling me my starting point is latitude 3659, longitude 7548, and I want to go 1 mile south of buoy number Cape Charles buoy number 14, and they actually give you the latitude and longitude that have that if you have trouble finding it. If you're not sure where it is, you can go to the light list and find that answer. We'll work that a little bit later, show you the light list. So what I have to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pull this out the way. And I've gone ahead and found it. I'm trying to get as much as I can into this video and trying not to be too fast. But I went ahead and found my latitude. Latitude is 3659, which is 36. And if you notice right by the 36 there's a number 50. There's 55, and they want 59. So I got 55, and each one of these marks is another degree of latitude. So I'm going to go 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59. And I went ahead and made a mark. And every time you make a mark, just remember the next question you work, erase that mark. Don't get yourself too confused with too many marks. Then I went ahead and I found my longitude. My longitude, I went ahead and found it 75. On the paper, 7548.6. I found 75. If you see it says 7530 is right there. Then I go 35, 40, and then I go 45. And you'll see 45, and then the next little mark will be 46. The white mark is 47, 48. And what I want to do is I want to find 48.6, and then I start breaking down to the seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a long one, and then 6. So here is my longitude. Now, I'm going to go ahead and wire it out so you can see how I can take a guesstimation, and I can take my finger, and I can run it all the way up the chart. And I could actually bring it across and say I'm somewhere in this direction. But in order to be accurate, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my parallel ruler. And I take my parallel ruler. And I'm going to lay it on the nearest longitude line. The longitude line, number 50, it kind of runs up, 7550. And what I'm going to do is, I can see my latitude is over here, so I'm going to be right in this general area. What I'm going to do is open up my parallel ruler until it comes right alongside 48.6. And I'm going to see, if my latitude is over here, I'm going to be somewhere in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a mark down. I could actually make a 30-inch line here, but I'm just wasting lead because I know I'm right in this area. 59 is right there. So what I'm going to do is, it's a little bit too long to use my parallel rulers. I'm going to pull out my dividers. And when I use my dividers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my divider on the nearest latitude line, which is actually be 37, and I'm going to close it in until the point is on 37 and the lead is on the 59 mark that I made. And I'm just going to drag my dividers down that latitude line until I get to the mark that I made, and I'm just going to drag my dividers across it and I get my mark. So my position, by keeping my point on that latitude line, my position is where the two cross, intersect. Now this is why I say you're going to need a good eraser. These magic rubber erasers are good on this chart. I can erase all this now and get it out of my way. And there's my position. This is where I am, right here. Now what I want to do is I want to find a position that's 1 mile south of number 14, Cape Charles buoy number 14. Now the way I do that is 1 mile south, I take this longitude line because the longitude line goes north and south, and what I do is, let's see if I can see this buoy. My pencil's pointing on the buoy right now. In the paper, it's going to give you the latitude and longitude of it, but if you're not sure, look up in your light list Cape Charles buoy number 14, and the number 14 is going to be in a quotation mark. That tells you the number of it. And it's going to say latitude, longitude, and that's how you find it. But in these problems, they're going to give it to you. Now, what I'm looking for is, I don't want to run to that buoy. I want to run to a position 1 mile south of that buoy. Well, that's why I'm going to go ahead and take my parallel ruler and line it up on the nearest longitude line. And I'm going to walk my parallel ruler until I get to that buoy. And I'm going to make a line from that buoy in the general direction of south. South is going to be down. Now I want to find 1 mile. Now, if you're unsure, remember, go back over to your chart or to your videos that we have using your divider. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find 1 mile on the latitude line. Now remember, each one of these minutes is a mile. If I go to 37 and I open it up and cover that whole white area, that's 1 mile. Now I'm going to take that over to my buoy, and I'm going to put point on my buoy, right on the circle, and I make a small little arc, and where the two come together is the position. Now that's the place I want to be. Let's say it's going to be a rendezvous point. Somebody's going to meet me up there. We're going to exchange something or personnel. There's where I want to be. So now I have the two marks. I have the latitude of where I am, which is here, and I have the mark of where I want to be. So what I do now is I take my parallel ruler, I line it up on the two, and I walk it to my compass rose. It's going to take 2 or 3 little marks. And remember, reading the compass rose from the crosshair, I've got 40 degrees. Make a mark. Now I'm going to correct it because it asked me what is it per standard magnetic compass. T, V, M, D, C. Now what I'm going to do is I've gone ahead and I've done my TVMDC, and the T is going to be what I grabbed from the chart, which is 40. I'm going to grab my deviation table, and it's going to tell me the variation for the Chesapeake Bay is 9 west. So I go 9 west. Remember, I'm going down, plus W is 49. Now I go to my deviation table, and I'm going to look for 49. 49 falls kind of in between 30 degrees and 60 degrees. 30 degrees is 3 east and 60 degrees is 4 east. I'm going to go ahead and take about 3.5 east. 3.5 east. Now remember, we're going down. So what do we do with east? we subtract. We take 49 and subtract 3.5 from it, and that equals 45.5. You look at the answers, and we're going to find the closest answer. And if you look at them, one's 45, one's 49, one's 53, and one is Steven Spielberg. I'm not. So which one's closest? I have 45.5. 45 is my answer. I went kind of fast, but that's how you find the problem out. Work it a couple of times, make sure you get comfortable with that one, and then go to the next one.